Falana. I like that Janet Jackson hat you got on there. That's pretty dope right there. Sparkles.
Thank you so much. You know what I like? No, what I love? Your movie. Oh my goodness. I got to go to the screening last night. I felt like I was still laughing this morning when I woke up. So Jay, how long do you think you would survive if you had to play the game?
Oh man, if I had to play the game in real life, how long would I survive? Jeez. Well, I don't know the Black National Anthem, so that would get me out of here. I probably would have made it. I'd probably make it like halfway. I'll put halfway through in real life.
But Melvin, what about you?
I think that was part of the joke too. Is like nobody knew it. Like we don't know. And then Grace came in and when it was teasing for being white or whatever, she knew the national anthem. But that one would have stomped me too. That's the only one that would have got me. The one that we actually got wrong in the film, I would have got right. But the Black National Anthem would have threw me off.
What drew each of you to this incredible film? Why did you want to be a part of it?
Well, I mean, it's a new idea, innovative, something that's never been done before, an all-black horror film with main full black cast. It's just, that's never been done. And then breaking down the things that it breaks down in the film, like it was fun, it made sense, and I just wanted to be a part of it.
I felt like it was culturally accurate. You know, these characters were saying things that felt real. You know, it didn't feel like it was contrived or made in the lab or what people think these characters would say or how they think they would act. It was written from the pens of people who live these lives, and known people who live these lives. So the verbiage was really accurate, which I enjoyed. And then it just kind of stepped in on a genre, and it kind of addressed tropes that I never really liked. You know, I wasn't a big horror film fan because I would look at the screen and just get upset. Like, yo, who would do that? Why would you do that? Like, you know what I mean? I'm more frustrated than anything.
Listen, I laughed enough last night at that screening. I'm trying to be serious with you today.
Thank you.
Yes. Congratulations on an instant classic. I know this is going to be a huge success.
Wow. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I just talked to Tracy, and I'm going to start with you, Dewayne. So she was telling me that I asked her about the inspiration. She said it started with you, with your short. Can you tell me what inspired this short?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of horror, and I had to write a sketch for all-black sketch group, and I was just watching horror and thinking like, oh, I think there's something very fun if we just forced this movie to have all black people. The idea that the trope of the black person dies first, there'd have to be some kind of conceit as to how we pick that person. And I was like, oh, and in that environment, you wouldn't want to die, so you'd have to like figure out like, okay, what's my plan? How do I like stay alive?
I would have been dead so quick. I was so glad when Grace started singing, because I was like, I'm gonna die. And she came up with the lyrics. I was like, oh.
Yeah, we almost died too, girl, because we were like, don't nobody know this?
Yeah.
No, actually, Jermaine, you look normal here.
Hey!
How did you develop all this physical?
You look normal here. You look like an ass on the movie.
Mind blowing. Tell me about the process to develop your character.
Yes, tell
It was
us.
all a collaboration. I went to the makeup artists and the
she
the
moved your lip?
wardrobe. No, the lip thing was I did that in my mirror. I was in my mirror working on the lines and came up with the voice. Watched a couple thrillers and it all kind of came. But then wardrobe, they brought the most bland Gap Banana Republic reject outfit I've ever seen in my life.
But also, if you are watching and you wear Gap or you are the Gap president, that's fine.
I model
There's
some
nothing
Gap.
wrong
I model
with-
some
there's
Banana
nothing
Republic.
wrong with that.
Clifton's pretty stylish for what he
You
is.
should know.
The energy was so much fun. It just felt like coming home.
I'm so
And,
happy that you
know,
said that, because that's the best way to see the movie is with the crowd.
How much of your character was you?
It's none of me. I'm a very refined, shy,
Quiet.
quiet,
To herself.
reserved,
Yes.
introverted species, you know? And I had to go to a very
Dark.
Urban
Black.
place.
urban, rock-aware, baby fat place.
Sean John.
Diddy.
An era.
Love.
And Grace, when you started singing, I was like, oh, I'm gonna live, because
Yes.
the lyrics. I was so happy when you started singing. I was curious. Grace, how long do you think you would have survived yourself if you were playing the game?
I surely would have died. Maybe 3/4 into the game, surely would have died. Because, well, actually, it's funny that you pick out that moment because we were just talking about this earlier. But one of the things that I am notorious for is not really knowing the lyrics to a lot of songs. And so, I mean, like, I'll get the tune, I'll hum it with you, you know, I got you, right? But the lyrics, I'm not very good at, so, you know, I probably would have sunk on that one.
And I can tell you, she ripped it the first take. And that was also where we were always sitting there like, Grace, you got this memorized?
Antoinette, do you feel any, like, thoughts at all about how specific it is in terms of cultural relevance? I mean, there are some audiences that just won't get it.
I think that this is a universal comedy. I feel like there are gonna be a lot of jokes that are very specific to our culture, but I feel like there are things that I've seen people who watched the trailer who they understood jokes that I didn't think that they would, because what we know about the world is that pop culture, specifically Black culture, kind of pushes the needle on everything. And we make such an impact in every single space of entertainment that you would be surprised how many people understand the jokes.
I think why people should want to go watch it is for all the things that you said right now of how it is so different. And like you said, there is a diverse perspective of audience that may or may not get it, but I think it's an opportunity to progress the exposure of culture. Right? Because I think there's a lot of people who are going to watch and go, that is me in the theater. I would react like that. Everything that we do to survive or we do to combat this big bad is things that we've all yelled at the screen so many times. But then I think there's going to be a collection of people who stereotypically are not a part of the diaspora of color, and they're going to get an exposure to like culture. Right? And I think if you have a zest to want to progress culture in a very positive way, then you're going to take in this movie and go, okay, I get it a little bit better. And you can lace it with humor, you can lace it with horror, but it's still going to tell you a real true story at the same time about life.
We have an instant classic on our hands. It's so exciting. As the writer, what inspired you to come up with this film, and how did you go about getting it made?
I just loved Dewayne's short. He had this like Comedy Central short that like was just 7 Black people in a cabin in the woods, and they're arguing about who's the blackest to save their lives. And so I was like, there's something about this premise and these like really diverse Black characters that's really interesting to me. So I kind of cold called him and said, hey, I want to turn this short into a movie. And he was asking questions, and I was like, I don't have it figured out yet, but there's something here that I want to kind of flesh out. He kind of gave the inspiration for it, and then we just kind of fleshed it out from there. I would say once Tim signed on, it literally was a mad dash to making it a movie. It was so fast. Wasn't it like 3 months or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we finished this movie, but in the process of making it, it took no time.
Wow. Now, Tim, you got the script. Obviously, something resonated with you. But I'm just curious because you had such a hilarious cast. How much was scripted and how much happened on the set?
You'd be surprised at how much was scripted. The great thing about this process has been we got a script from Tracy and Dewayne, and it was hilarious. And I read it, laughed just as much as you laughed and enjoyed yourself last night. I did the same in reading in the draft that we ended up shooting. And when it came down to, ad libs and this, that, we were always open. We always gave them the freedom to add a little bit more, accidental magic. But at the end of the day, that script gave us so much clever humor, all of that stuff that it made my job, I won't say easy, but made it easier.
It's very culturally specific. Do we care if other cultures don't get it and it doesn't resonate? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, here's the thing. I first of all, I don't think we do. But at the same time, what's great about it is because we made it so specific, we're finding that other cultures are seeing characters and people that they know as well. And that's what I think makes films like this accessible, is that because it's so specific, for some reason it just is embraced by everybody.
It's the type of movie that you'll just have a lot of fun with other people.
It's very communal, and you got to see it with a bunch of people.
It is arguably the best comedy horror since another big one came out in 2017. Gotta say that.